Hi, another quick project. We did this project at the shop I work at as a quick add-on to a Friday social. We have a first Friday of the month, we have a social club and we do a project, and we try to make the project just to be about 5 to 10 minutes, but it actually, after you prep everything, it takes about, you should be able to complete the project in 30 minutes or less. This one was a pennant, and I thought, for July 4th, I picked red, white, and blue. I'm just going to show a little mini pennant, but you could use, if you need a baby shower, graduation party, you need a pennant for it. And this one is only, I'm using a charm pack size. It's 5-inch squares that I'm using to show you how to make it. So I have a 5-inch square here. I'm going to quickly show you how you make the pennant, and I'm going to show you how you attach it. To make the pennant, you take your square, and you can use, I'm using 5-inch just for convenience of charm packs, but you can also use 10-inch, so you can use a layer cake. You can use 6-inch, 7-inch, 7.5-inch. They just need to be square, okay? So then fold it in half for a triangle, okay? And then you're just gonna sew down one side. I did a 1/4-inch seam. Pretty simple and easy. If you want to, I sat and I just chain stitched each one of my squares. So I just did one right after another, and I back stitch at the beginning, at the end, also because just because it's like a craft project, it's probably gonna, you don't know where the stress will be when you're flipping it right side out and attaching it. So I just, to make sure it kind of stayed together a little bit better, I did back stitch at the beginning and at the end. Okay, so there's 2 of my pennants. If I was doing a whole new one, I would just keep chain stitching until I got them all done. Okay, and then down at the corner, at the peak, the point, just trim it down so that when we flip it out, we don't have that bulk. When we turn it right side out, we don't have that bulk. Okay, so then we're going to turn it right side out. Something to poke it through. Whatever you have to use, make it as pointy as you want. All right, so then this is what you'll have. So what you want to do, my point's not very pointy, but you get the point. I just don't have a point, but you get it. All right, so then we want to fold this over, but the best way is to make sure we get it even, is you get this point at your seam. See, I'm a little off, so I need to move it just a little bit. All right, and see how that all matches right there? And it hits the point there. And then just give it a quick press with your iron. And then this is what you'll have after you press it with your iron. And then tuck your flap right inside. So then you have your pennant done. Okay, but you have a raw seam here. So we have to finish that off somehow. So what I have done is made bias tape, and then just put this in between and stitched across the bias tape. Right now, I didn't want to make bias tape, so I'm just using a piece of ribbon, and I'm folded it in half. I think this ribbon is 7/8 of an inch. Yep, 7/8 of an inch. And it's just because it's what I had on hand. And then it looks like I've spaced here in between, but it's actually just where my points are. I'm just kind of leaving just a little gap in there so they don't overlap. And you just put it in between your ribbon, which I kind of use clips as I go. You can use pins. I like using the clips. And then I'm going to do a zigzag down to hold my pennant together. Hopefully, if my machine agrees with me on the whole zigzag. And before I do that, I need to change the foot on my machine. So I had my 1/4-inch foot, and I would have broke a needle. Not that it wouldn't be the first time I've broken a needle when I'm doing a video. All right, so I'm just going to feed my ribbon straight Yep, that's a pretty wide. That should work. So you just want to go down the middle. That'll make sure it's grabbing your front and your back ribbon and the rest of your pennant. And I just try to make sure right in the middle these match up, because it's really not going to matter on the back, because we're not going to know that they're not matched up exactly on the back. The only place you're going to see it is right in between your pennants. That's the only place you're going to know that it's not. This is a pretty tight zigzag. It doesn't need to be that tight. I just didn't play with my settings before I started. I just started. So we'll just continue. We've only got, I only did like a mini pennant, so there's only 6 here. So it shouldn't take too long to stitch them up. And in between each one, you could tie scraps of ribbon, some scraps of the fabric that you have left. You could put a letter in here if you wanted to spell out USA. You could do it with, cut it out with fabric and iron it on. As long as you're not washing the pennant, it probably doesn't need to be appliqued. There's a wonderful new product out there called Hot Fix. It's a permanent adhesion. It works like your heat and bond or anything else that you might use when you're doing applique work, except it's permanent and it's washable, and it's stitchable, but you don't have to stitch it down. As long as you don't put the product through the dryer, because it's heat activated, it works really good. I've used it on shirts, like cutting out during the holidays, Christmas trees out of buffalo plaid, and just put them across a t-shirt. Stayed on just fine. I washed it probably, I think, 10 or 12 times because I wanted to try out the product, make sure it worked. It was wonderful. So if you ever get the opportunity to try out that product, if you do applique work, it's pretty wonderful. I should have did this longer because I'll have nothing to tie it onto, but it was just, I just wanted to show you because I probably will make this longer eventually. And so you see the cute little pennant. See, just a zigzag across holds it all together. See, on the back, you don't really, looks fine on the back too. There you go. A quick little pennant project you can put together using 5-inch squares or whatever size square. You just need a square to start with and to assemble it the way I just showed you. Goes together really quick. What takes the longest is if you want to make a matching bias tape. I did that for the last one I made, which was for fall, and the bias tape looked great on it, but that's what took the most time. It took me twice as long to make the bias tape as it did to make the pennants. The pennants go really fast when you chain piece them, and you just sit with the iron and, you know, fold them in. So there you go. You got the seam down the back. Easy peasy little project for you.